letter today, our first broadcast.
I think we've all gotten used to this now that we've been in Teams world for a while. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Coastal Waters and Harbor Advisory Committee meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order.
Can we mute them?
Stand by as we address some technical difficulties.
Okay, go ahead. No, sorry.
Got it muted? Okay. Mr. Secretary, we've got the attendance. The person who doesn't seem to be here tonight is Scott Doherty, our town council liaison. But we'll get moving here. So our first item on the agenda is to review and approval of the minutes, assuming everyone got a copy of the minutes. Any questions or discussion about what was in the minutes? Kind of a light meeting last time. If not, we have a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, second?
Second.
Any additional discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
By unanimous consent. Approve the minutes, good. Moving on to our next item. Public comment. Does not look like we have any members of the public in attendance tonight. Is there anyone on the Zoom call who is on and would like to make some comments? Silence sounds like no to me. That being the case, we're going to move on to our next item. Item 5, the Harbor Masters report.
Okay. We've closed out the shellfish year this year, conservation time. The shellfish lottery we held on April of 2025. We've reminded all the mooring holders to make sure that they register all their skiffs, all their watercrafts, because it'll affect their mooring renewal come March 1st. New stickers for the parking lot, the trailer passes, and mooring stickers themselves have been ordered. I got confirmation of that today, actually, so those should be in a few weeks.
It's the commercial fisherman parking lot.
It's commercial fisherman parking stickers, the seasonal boat launch stickers, and the mooring stickers for the boats.
So that's on the same schedule as it is every year? So,
Yeah, because we go into mooring renewal mode on March 1st, and
Okay.
they have to be done by April 1st. The town has invested a substantial amount of money. We are going to move to a online portal for all our mooring and shellfish. So you'll be able to register from out of state, provide the right documentation. That program, we signed a contract with that company in November, and we should have that live. Myself and the clerks are getting some training next week, and we should be going fully live with it in February so that we're ready for the mooring renewal season. That's all I got.
Excellent. Any questions, discussion?
Did you say the lottery for permits was on April 4th?
The shellfish lottery will be in April. I'm just part of my notes for both meetings, just so you're aware of it.
You had many openings?
They're supposed to do license allocations tonight at the meeting.
All right, further discussion? If not, let's move ahead. Item number 6 is the council liaison's report. As we can all notice here, we do not have a council member in attendance tonight, so we can skip right by that. Item 7, old business. We don't have any old business. Things are kind of quiet here in the off season. So we'll move to item 8, new business. Meet the new town council at Lansing. Well, we're not going to do that, are we?
Not tonight.
Not tonight. We will. I think I did meet them. They had the little town council, new councilors mixer. Back in December, I think it was. So I did have it, which I guess it's the first time they've done that, but they had all the new council members show up and just introduce themselves and meet a lot of the town dignitaries. So it's actually pretty good. So I did meet Scott, who I think he's been around in the council for a while, I think, hasn't he? No, it's
Brand new this year.
Okay, good. But apparently he's got a little bit of a marine kind of a background.
He commercially fishes.
Commercial fishing.
Commercial watching, yeah.
Good. So should be a good matchup for us. So we can get some things done. Discuss dredging update from ACE.
So, we've had a bit of a development. We know that the channel is not holding to, what it was supposed to. There's a lot of sand that's getting silted into the area between Ferry Rock and Pine Point. We know that. So I've been on the phone with the Army Corps of Engineers. They're trying to come up with a long-term solution. In the short-term solution, we're in, talks with York County that has a dredge. I just had a conversation with the town manager reference to, there might be an opportunity for us to contract with that dredge to come up and do some maintenance dredging, but we're not gonna be able to go 10 years without doing something. We're gonna do something probably on a biannual or semi-biannual, every 3 years, dredging. So we're working on some permitting and I'm working on some permitting and some, things in the background. So there'll be more to follow on that once we get some answers. So we are aware of it and we are taking action to correct it one way or another, because we cannot have a commercial fisherman waiting on a tide cycle to get in and out. It's just not, it's not feasible. And it's a safety factor for people trying to get in and out of there.
Sure. So yesterday, this will calm this phone. The river is non-navigable for my vessel. At 5 o'clock yesterday, I didn't pay attention to the tide as much as I typically do because of the dredging. But I was unable to come home at the fourth green can from the mouth of the river. Not enough water. So we basically just kind of ran it up on the sandbar and just kind of hung out and waited a half an hour. And then kind of maneuvered a little bit and then was able to come in to unload the lobster as well. I went out to go fishing today and I had lost seawater pressure in my system because I had sucked up some sand and I had to sort of go back into the dock, dismantle things, clean out my cooling system, the raw water system that got sand in it. So, I mean, perfect timing. It was, on minus 0.4 yesterday. Full moon. So shame on me for not looking, but yeah. And almost the more concerning thing is that there's only 6 feet of water on the second green can. So we got the channel markers are red and the green, and there's enough water there. When you enter the Pine Point River, the second green can you'll take on your port, 6 feet of water. Now picture a 3-foot swell with 6 feet of water. You're gonna run aground, most likely, unless you surf it just right. So, and there was a swell on yesterday, and I was concerned. And at one point, I think I saw like 5, 6 on my sounder. So it's a sucky feeling. And we adjust. We simply have to either come in earlier or come home later. But it's if an emergency happened, somebody had to get in or try to get out or whatever. So, and that's less than 1 year since the dredging project. So I don't know if there's some sort of I don't know what the word would be, geological water aquatic event that's happened that's causing silting, some construction, some shifting or whatever. But it just, we had it good. We had it almost 100% any tide, even full moons, it could leave. But at this point now, it's like, okay, you check the weather, you check the tide. It's just the way it's going to have to be. The beauty of Pine Point fishing is that you're adjacent to the fishing grounds quicker than Portland, but there's no fuel, bait, and you get tide to deal with. So, yeah, I mean, if ACOE can come in and do a maintenance dredge, or if we can get that dredge equipment, or somebody, can get in. It's just that one particular. Actually, it really is two spots.
The issue right now really is the permitting. So the permitting for the large 10-year maintenance dredge last year, those permits expired in March of 2024.
Okay.
So there is some FEMA money and there's some York County with that dredge has engaged into a MOU with Michaels, who was the contractor that was here last year,
Okay.
like a 3-year contract. So I've had a lengthy conversation with them yesterday and today. And if we can get it permitted and get like a 10-year permit to it, where we can then dredge it every 2 or 3 years, it may be the way we're gonna have to go. And we'll just use that. We'll use the Michaels dredge, or the Michaels contract that York County has with that dredge that York County bought. So it's,
So essentially, they'll put their personnel, maybe a push boat on there.
the county bought some pipe from when they used it from here and there in Wells. So the county has a dredge and the pipe. It's a matter of basically Michael's coming up to staff it and bringing some boats and just doing it. They're gonna do some work in Camp Ellis anyway. So they're gonna work in Wells and Camp Ellis. And then the goal is to get it permitted over the next 9 months. And then in November, potentially, do it here.
Do we have to have the pump ashore with the piping? Can we just put a?
There's a lot of options.
Yeah.
I mean, they could pump it into a barge. There's a lot of, the issue will be is a lot of what was done, the 192,000 cubic yards that came out last year, all went to Western Beach. And there's a need and a want from a lot of people on the Pine Point Beach to pump that over on that side now.
I would think so.
So, and there's also, I have a lengthy discussion with one of the project managers from the Army Corps. Craig and I spent almost an hour on the phone today. Reference to, there's some projects gonna go on in Saco, and they're thinking that potentially there may be some, help us take some sand. So there's discussions. The Army Corps is heavily engaged in this, and they were, when Craig and I talked, they were just very surprised that, here we are, we're literally at like almost a year
I know.
where we're at, so.
Yeah. I was surprised. At them.
We haven't had any real spectacular storms or anything, have we? Could it be something to do with the way they actually did the dredging, or
I don't
I
think
guess
so.
it's, who knows?
The sand's live, it's moving all the time.
It's moving.
It is all the time.
Yeah,
It-
I mean, how long is a mooring after you reset it?
How what?
Or mooring, how long is it before it's covered in sand?
Oh,
Not very
no.
long, right?
Not long.
It's probably a few days, it's probably still today.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and then then you could dive on it and you could see it. And then, it is a live sort of, constantly evolving sort of process.
I mean, not my wish, but what happens if there's no money?
Good question. Good question. I mean, right now, the Army Corps is looking out to the 2027 budget. They're trying to plan projects that far out. And then, of course, there is some FEMA money that which the county's using for beach replenishment, so that, there's money there, but yeah, the issue is at some point, well, there's no federal money, what's gonna, happen? The town's gonna have to. But we're working with the Army Corps, we gotta get stuff permitted, and then hopefully if we get it permitted, we can get on the county's contract with them, and hopefully we'll be able to at least over the next 10 years, or at least in the foreseeable year or two, get it done 2 or 3 times, So more to follow on that. You can,
Yep.
We'll circle back once I know.
Yeah.
You can leave it on old business, Alfred, if you want. Just, I just put, something in there that says, river dredging, and just leave it on as old business so we don't forget about it. I can keep you updated as it consumed a lot of my day yesterday and today, so.
So the permitting process, is that something you handle, or does the town have to do that? or-
It's twofold. A lot of it is, I will provide a lot of the information, but a lot of these permits are, they go through DEP. So most of the permitting process, I will have to be heavily involved in, but we would use one of the engineers or the consultant that York County is using for wells, because it's very labor intensive. There's a lot of information to it. And not stuff that's completely out of our realm, so.
Good stuff. Any other discussion on that? Any additional new business that anyone wants to bring up?
I think we should stick on that, you spoke of earlier, try to get that.
Yeah, it's too bad Scott's not here, because we before we went into official session here, we had a short discussion that apparently the Community Services Committee has made a recommendation to the town that they increase the beach pass fees. And I think they're also putting a cap on beach passes. So it seems like it's a pretty relevant topic with summer coming up.
Residential cap or cap on non-resident?
Non-residents, yeah, it's non-residents, exactly. But I think any kind of a cap that happens is going to put more pressure on the parking situation in that area. Especially if they raise, I think they're talking about parking going from $15 a day to $20. I think that was the numbers I heard, but.
Rich.
So I think what I'll do is, I was hoping Scott would be here that we could talk about maybe bringing this up in the town council, our parking proposal that we made last fall.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
There's definitely something kicking around. So I'll reach out to Scott and see if, see what he knows about that, and see what the process is to get something going. Seems like it might be a time to try to get this thing moving since it's sort of stagnated. Got a new council, which I'm sure will be very enthusiastic about investigating sources of potential revenue to offset costs. Could be an interesting topic. Any other new business?
Yeah, the downriver ladder is showing its age. Missing a rung. A couple other ones are kind of rough shape, so should be repaired. I mean, I'd be happy to do the repair or you know, Darren, if you want to work on it together.
Yeah, we can
It's
take a
a
look.
piece of
They,
pressure treated 2x4.
yeah, Public Works came down and put some reinforcements on the aquaculture ladder and the upriver one. And they didn't touch the downriver one, because I didn't know that was any, was there a rung broke on the bottom?
I'm sorry,
Upriver, downriver,
down,
downriver,
down.
yeah,
Leaving.
Yeah.
Down.
yeah. They didn't touch that one. They put some reinforcements on the other one.
Okay.
But we can, let's get together this week, and if I need to, I can have them come. The problem this time of year is they're,
Sucks.
yeah, they want to do it in the spring, but
Of course
if it's something we can reinforce for some, right now.
Yeah.
And then I can have them come down in the spring when they can actually get in the boat and get underneath there, and they'll put, whatever they got.
I mean, it's just a rung missing. It's a whatever 28-inch piece of
Pressure treated.
It's that's just lagged in.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you have,
most of them are doubled up.
if you have a piece and we can lag it in,
Yeah.
we'll just do it.
Yeah.
And then we can always have them come down and reinforce it.
Yeah. But I want you to be there.
Yeah.
Make sure it's
Yeah.
all kosher.
Yeah.
We can do it on the deck of my boat sometime when the tide's right.
Yeah, it's fine.
I just figured I'd mention.
Yep.
All right, anything else?
I have one new business item as
Sure.
the open space plan liaison from our council. The draft plan is posted to the town's website, and there's a comment period through January 24th. So we're kind of taking a look at that and offering comments. The ad hoc committee welcomes all the feedback. So yeah, I think it would be good. Some of the information is kind of relevant to our committee, especially kind of some of the, the areas being looked at, so.
They're still working on the definition of open space. I know that was, what is considered as a cemetery, is the beach, is the parking lot. Because they're shooting for like 30 by 30, right?
Exactly,
30%
yeah,
of Scarborough's available land.
yeah, by 2030, yeah, 30% of the area
Yeah.
of the town, which I think right now it's only like 7% short from that.
Oh, okay, right, 23.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's like it was closer than I would have expected.
Okay,
It's
shooting
currently
for
considered-
30 at 23 now.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we just gotta kind of, how do we get there?
And the draft plan does delineate a pretty good kind of classification of what is considered open space and kind of how different land is ranked, based on habitat, hazardous environments, kind of critical watershed areas, things like that. So the report, I want to say maybe 15 pages, so it's not too long, but it's a kind of easy thing to sit through. So,
Okay.
and it has a good definition about how valuable land is sort of defined for the report.
Mhm.
We're looking at.
So what will they recommend then, like changes to zoning laws and that kind of thing to
Yeah.
encourage this, or?
So the report kind of lays out some action items, one of which is evaluating ordinance amendments. Another is kind of how the town strategically approaches land acquisition for conservation purposes and how that would be funded. So there's at least a dozen different kind of recommended actions for the town to kind of put into place and kind of get moving on for reaching the 30% goal.
Yep. Good stuff. Let's take a look. Anything else?
I don't think we do, do
Think so. Well, that being the case, guess we need to set our next agenda, unless anyone has any other comments, thoughts?
What's the procedure for logging in remotely here? Say one of us couldn't make it.
On the top of the agendas, when you get an email, there's a Zoom link.
Okay.
So you just go to that Zoom link
Yeah.
and you can log in on the actual agenda itself.
Yeah.
There's one on you, the top one is the Zoom link for you to log in.
Yeah.
On the agenda, and the bottom one is the YouTube live streaming, so that's where it's going.
Okay.
So,
And then do you let us in so we
yeah.
can speak?
yeah, so,
Your moderator?
yeah, it'll show up as you're in the waiting room, and then I'll let you in.
Is there anybody?
No, there's nobody in there except us right now. We're the only
Okay,
ones.
so just that top one, because they both say view.
Right, the one that says view commission meeting and offer public
I
comment,
got you.
and then the other one is view only, which is the YouTube link.
If you just wanted to.
Yeah, if you just wanna watch it,
I
right?
got you. Okay, yeah, because I mean, there's, at some point, there's gonna be a point where I'm fishing out of town, Gloucester.
Yeah, well, like Brittany's she's with a client.
Yep.
So she was gonna zoom in, but she knew you guys had a quorum when I texted her, so she said that's fine,
That's awesome.
so, which is
Do
fine.
we have two alternates?
There are two alternates, and the tomorrow night, the appointments committee is meeting to put somebody, I think they said there's one slot here and one or two on Shellfish.
Oh,
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Andy and her. Right, I'm sorry, so it must be Shellfish, it must be,
Yeah, I don't think we have-
it's a reappointment of, I think there's
Me and
a
Andy.
reappointment of people. But the appointments,
Because I'm an alternate on
You're-
this.
Yeah.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
still here, I think it was.
Yeah, I
Alfred
think we're
Vinny
at
or
full,
Vinny.
we're at full
You are.
strength on our committee.
You are.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're meeting tomorrow night to do the reappointments.
So is five makes the quorum or five's the? Oh, yeah.
4 is the quorum, we have
Spot.
5, yeah, we have 5 members and 2 alternates,
Okay.
and 4 is the quorum.
Yeah, so when you get the agenda, Rob, if you want to zoom in, like if you're fishing,
Yeah.
just hit that link and you'll be able to zoom in.
Okay, cool.
And then we'll see you at like 5:30 and then we'll just let you in.
Yeah, I'm gonna just try it now. Looks like it, yeah, typical.
Or if you're stuck on a sandbar, that's compelling.
Maybe we can- If it actually does work, that's
You're there, yeah.
Amazing.
I know, text good.
Yeah, if you can't,
Text good when it's good.
if you can't get in because of the tide, just zoom in from the river.
Oh, man.
You can hold your phone up and show us that you're aground or something.
Yeah, like,
Really relevant for the record.
Yeah.
All right, anything we want to add on the agenda for next time? It sounds like it's,
I have meet new committee liaison,
Mhm.
hopefully, and river dredging issue.
And then we bring up the parking with the liaison,
Yes.
yeah, why don't we throw that on also?
because that affects the whole area.
Thank you.
It's time.
I would wager that the dredging is just gonna be perpetually.
It is.
Freaking thorn in our side, your side, and just our side.
That's why I think it's important that we get a 10-year permit. Especially if we have.
Will
this
they, will
dredge-
they grant that?
Yeah.
That's the last one, right?
There was one back in like, and I'm not 100% sure, I think it was back in the early 2000s, there was a 10-year permit.
Okay.
But this last one was literally an Army Corps permit. And It was for a specific timeframe,
Yeah.
like November to like March.
So if Pine Point Beach, say, is gonna benefit from the sand getting pumped ashore, I guess, to me, it would be an easier lift to ask the town for some.
Well, and there is some FEMA language, that the EMA director, York County and I, about dune replenishment and beach replenishment and stuff like that. So, and I've talked to the fire chief here, he's the EMA director for the town. So he's in the loop as well. So we're actively having that conversation with Mr. Cleves from York County, Art Cleves, who, used to be the main emergency management director. So he and I have been trading emails and phone calls for 2 days. We're gonna, there's an issue that we have to come up with a solution. We just can't wait 10 years. There's no way. So if we don't start now, like if we start now, maybe we'll be in a position where we can dredge in the fall or next winter. And, I figured that we would not have to visit this for maybe at least 3 or 4 years. I didn't realize it would be less than a year, but that is what it is. I mean, we have to do it, and that's what I'm willing
Hey,
to
2
do.
meetings, 3 meetings from now, I might be like, guys, I'm not gonna accept it.
Right,
I mean, it
right.
might change. It seems to, no matter what is done, it seems to like figure out a path and cut, I don't know. Have you heard much on, Maine DOT with the project of Route 1?
I have not heard anything, other than the core sampling, I haven't heard anything else about Route 1 and the Pine Point Road. I heard they were gonna raise the road,
Well, we kind of raised.
and when I heard they're gonna raise the road, how high, right? So I don't have any facts, or I haven't heard anything yet on that,
Yeah,
so.
That's what they call those bridges.
that's what, that Causeway, I mean, I think that's the move.
Sounds cheap.
Yeah,
Be
it
here all
sounds
week.
super cheap,
Sounds
yeah.
cheap.
They'll have a bake sale, maybe get
Yeah.
some parking tickets and raise the parking for $60.
Bottle drive, do a bottle drive. Good. All right, anything else? All right, if not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So no,
A lot of enthusiasm on the adjournment. I'm assuming that's a second. All right, let's adjourn the meeting then. We'll meet next month.
all right, what's the next one's date?
February 11th.